Hey there, you're listening to the Not So Breakfast Show with Sasha and Ish. Alright, welcome to the Not So Breakfast Show today, and this is the one about... Oh, wait, what was it about again? Dad joke, Sash. It's the one about getting your concentration back. Oh man, where did my concentration go? I feel like it's been stolen from me or something.
You're on fire. I've just come back from Auckland where I did a little mini, not really a keynote, but a team building session for some people this morning. And I shit you not, midstream, I was talking to these people, and what I said to them, I was telling them the story, and I, not even like a little mind blank, a complete and utter black hole of... I've got no idea what I was thinking. And so I said, what was I saying before that? And so they took me back to the last three things I was saying. None of that jogged.
Oh, no.
I couldn't even remember the story I was telling. And I was just like, you can believe I'm turning 50. And I tried to kind of laugh my way through it. Yes, we need to talk about the one about getting your concentration back. Because if when you are live in front of an audience, you lose your train of thought, that means you are not present.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm here to listen. Teach me, Obi-Wan. Teach me.
I wish I could teach you. I definitely have done some research on this one. I want to discuss it because, I was reading something online and I was just skimming it. I couldn't even stay focused in it. Now, just for a bit of context, I am just on the tail end of COVID. So I've come out of COVID, and last week was a bit of a write-off with some brain fog. But it's more than that. It's been longer than that. It's, that feels like a really convenient excuse for me right now, and I'm going to ride that long COVID tail as long as I can. But there is something about my attention span that has changed, and my ability to focus. And I think when I'm in my element, and maybe I'm listening to someone and it's an audio... Yeah, I probably can concentrate more, but the moment it's a stretch or a read or something that I'm struggling to be interested in, that's where I just feel like, wow, where did that concentration go? Where did that ability to just focus go? And I know we've talked in a previous episode about eliminating the noise, but I think this is really about how do we actually get the concentration back. Noise aside, let's talk about actual concentrating on a task. And I don't know if you know Johan Hari's work. I know you've referenced him on the show before.
Personally, I know him personally. We're such good friends.
Exactly. He came round for dinner the other night. You cooked that great vegetarian, dairy-free, gluten-free meal. But he in his book, Stolen Focus, he's literally talking about the fact that your ability to concentrate and focus has been stolen from you.
I mean, the research you've done, because you are the expert on this, not me. I'm just the expert in terms of it's happening to me. I'm not the expert in having read around it. Is our aging part of it? Or do the youth of today also need to listen to the rest of this episode?
Well, I remember that's one of the things that he talked about, where it's kind of like you go into a room and you're like, why did I come into this room again?
All the time.
All the time, right? And he kind of said, chances are it's not age. I think we justify it as age. But he said it's really the fact that we have trained our brains to stay attentive to things for such a short amount of time. And especially the way that we scroll on social media, and social media being a big part of that. It's like if it doesn't grab your attention within a fraction of a second, you're not going to watch it. Or if it's not entertaining, or if it's not emotional, or it's not something, it just kind of drifts away from you. And I've caught myself in those situations where I'm literally like, I need to write that down, and then by the time I go to write it down, it's gone. Or I decided to do something else in the meantime. Like that ability to actually, one, focus on the thing that's in my head right now, or two, be able to control my concentration to concentrate on something long enough to get out of it what I need to get out of
Well,
it.
a couple of things jump out at me as you share that. One is I want to know what we can do about it, because I completely get that we've taught ourselves, and I wonder if part of that is we don't have to remember things anymore. So in the old days when we were growing up, you had to remember things because it was hard to access facts.
Yeah.
So if I don't remember the capital cities of the world, my family doesn't necessarily have an atlas or the Encyclopedia Britannica at home, in which case, if on Friday night at 7 o'clock I ask myself, what's the capital of Ecuador, and I can't remember it, when I'm a kid, it's a long wait until Monday morning when I can go to school and look it up in a book. So you have to remember stuff that you learn so you can access it. Nowadays, we don't have to remember anything. So why would you hold on to things, and why would you keep things in the front of your brain? Because all the information you need is not in your brain anymore, it's in your fingertips. So I wonder if that's part of it. That's the first thing I wonder. And the second thing is, this is how bad it's got for me. I want to share this example with you. The other day I was at work and I remembered we're building a new theatre in Hamilton. It's a beautiful new theatre for shows and ballet and arts, and it's going to be incredible. And what you can do to help the money together for this theatre is you can buy a chair. So you basically get your name or whatever you want on the back of a chair. So it's a fundraising event. And so I was like, oh, I keep meaning to buy these chairs and I keep forgetting. So because I'm a goldfish, what I need to do is I need to write that down in my diary. So in my diary, I wrote down buy chairs. That's what I wrote. I thought, wicked. I am learning things. This year, I'm getting into good habits, writing down things so I don't forget. Go me. I'm amazing. Yes, you are. Nailing it. No more than 10 minutes after that, I looked in my diary and it says buy chairs. And I went, what the fuck is that? I don't need any chairs. Why would I have written buy chairs? I don't need chairs at home. I don't need chairs for them. And I could not remember why I had written buy chairs. And you know what I did? Got my little eraser out, thought, she's losing the plot. I rubbed out buy chairs. And as I was rubbing out the last S, I went, oh, those are the chairs for the theatre. So I picked up my pencil. And so this time I wrote buy chairs for the theatre. Unbelievable, right?
Amazing.
Maybe I shouldn't share this story with people because I'll never get hired again, because it feels to me like I'm losing my mind.
But I think you made a great point in the fact that we're not forcing ourselves to have to remember information. So can you remember your phone number from when you were a kid?
Yes, I can.
What was your phone number? Because obviously it won't exist anymore.
6300709.
Mine was 80055.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah, and what's Portia's cell phone number?
I don't know Portia's cell phone number. Why would I need to know that?
Exactly. I don't know anyone's cell phone number, right? Because it's right there in our phone and we push it. So we're not having to force ourselves to do it. We don't have to know it. So therefore we don't try. But then it is the concentration piece of it.
Yeah, and I do think just on the cell phone number thing, guys, this is dangerous, because when my cell phone is flat, I need to be able to say to someone else, can I use your phone, and know the number. So I know my parents a few years ago, the number that had been my family home number for I don't know how long, 20 plus years now, Mum and Dad were going to ditch the landline and just go to their mobiles, and I hit the roof. I said, no, that number is our family emergency number. All of my kids know it off by heart. I know it off by heart. Yeah. That's our safety. Someone is usually home there. Please, can we keep that number? It's important.
Yeah.
And that might seem stupid, but I just kind of feel like we should have some numbers in our heads, don't you think?
Yeah. If you ever find a phone, just pick it up and go, hey, Siri, call Dad. And then tell you what, actually, Siri just activated there. Tell you what, it's going to probably call Dad or Mum, or just try one. And you can say, hey, I found this phone. I don't know who it belongs to.
Yeah, what a great idea.
Yeah, little hacks that we've got there. But anyway, what I tried to do in the break was get away from my email, and I actually moved the icon on my email and tried to break the habit or break the default, because I think part of our memory loss or loss of concentration is we end up operating in default. So we go to sit down to our computer and make that note that we were going to do, but instead of making the note, it triggers the subconscious default. Oh, I open my email when I'm sitting at my computer. Or same on your phone, right? You go in to open your contacts and add that contact of that person that you said you were going to add the contact about. And instantly it's gone because you open your phone. And what do you do when you open your phone? Oh, I check my bank balance. I open my email. I play Angry Birds. So I think the ability to maybe recognize those triggers is important. But then what I started to do the research on is how do we start to train the concentration back? Because I want to be able to read a long form email without skimming it. And I want to be able to read it in detail, but when I'm glazing over because I can't summon my concentration because it's not stimulating me visually or it didn't grab my attention within the first 3 words, that's what I want to try to get on top of. And that's kind of, I guess, where the rest of the show we can spend our time.
We'll be right back.
If there was one skill that could double your income, advance your career, and increase your ability to influence, it is the skill of presenting. Whether it's on stage, in the boardroom, or at a job interview, the 30-minute presenter program will help take you to the next level. So check out our Instagram page, click the link in the bio, and get started on the 30-minute presenter program.
Yeah, so teach me, oh wise one, what can we do? Because Sean Akel calls it cultural ADHD. We've trained ourselves. And I mean, I do the dumbest thing when I open my phone. I go email, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, use my Candy Crush lives. Oh, by now something must have changed in those other things. How many likes have I got now on Instagram, Twitter? And you can spend this cycle where you just cycle through them all and 25, 30, 35 minutes have passed. And it feels productive because you're answering people or you're giving someone a thumbs up, but it's actually just sucking both our concentration and our spare time. Yeah. So I sit at your feet.
Oh, man, now the pressure's on. Okay, so one of the tips that I found was literally
Sorry, what are we talking about?
to train your brain. So, Sudoku, not Angry Birds. And I know that you're a Wordle girl, and I know you're a Sudoku girl as well.
Yes.
But actually, I shouldn't say girl. Sophisticated woman.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
You loved girl, so it was all good.
Girl was
Your
good.
eyes lit up.
Yeah, you girl.
But yeah, if you quite like playing games on your phone, then at least play a game that's kind of stimulating parts of your brain to make you think, as opposed to Angry Birds or Tetris, or probably Tetris is a little bit helpful, but it's things that are problem solving, things that are not mind numbing, mind wasting. You can still get the time wasting, but with a little bit of education in behind it. And they said it was around 15 minutes a day of jigsaw, Sudoku, thinking would help rebuild your concentration.
Yes, like it a lot. One of the things that I'm doing, and I don't know if this is recommended in the book, but I think I shared with you earlier, I'm going back to playing the piano. And one of the things I do is I put my phone over in the corner and just set a timer for 30 minutes. And I just say I will play for 30 minutes. So I do my scale to do my exercises. And every time I feel my mind wandering to I wonder how much time has gone by, I just pick up something else that's a little bit harder. And I go crack the challenge on this. Do this one. And I'm actually getting better and better at not having those thoughts. Oh, I wonder how long it's been. And so I get this really lovely surprise when the alarm goes off. And I go, you've immersed yourself in that. Well done. And 30 minutes might be ambitious, but it's good for me. It might be a 5-minute timer to start with for someone else.
I like that. I really do. I've actually started doing, I don't know whether this is a good thing or a bad thing, so I give you this information out of pure ignorance, but I've started going into my calendar at the start of the day and I go, Siri, set an alarm for 1:30, for 2:30, for 3, for 4:15. So all my appointments and meetings that I need to turn up for, I just set an active alarm. Because what happens is I'll be in task or in flow and I'm working on PowerPoint or I'm working on building some content, but subconsciously I'm thinking about don't forget about the meeting in 5 minutes.
I love that.
And I found that helpful. Everyone around me hates it because they're going, that's the alarm I wake up to, Ish. Turn it off. I'm like, screw you guys. I need to be in the meeting.
Everything that you don't need to hold on to, release, which is kind of counterintuitive because earlier we were saying we are teaching ourselves to not remember anything. But what we're saying here is don't fill your brain with dumb stuff. I hope I don't forget to. I hope I don't forget to. I hope I don't forget to. No, just write it down. Set the alarm. I love it. I love that a lot.
The next one was practice mindfulness. And I go through phases with this. I am a massive advocate for the Calm app. I love the Calm app. I pay the subscription. I really do. In fact, I don't even mind paying the subscription because I get so much out of it. Mainly I use it for sleep stories and to distract myself from thoughts throughout the day when they start to play on repeat. But that mindfulness piece is something that I come and go with. But when I talk about the internet people, talked a lot about the fact that it gives you that chance to just sit and reset. By practicing mindfulness, it does help you get your concentration back, or at least noticing when your mind does the hamster wheel thing where it starts to run off, and then being able to pull it back, and then being able to take a breath, and then just spend some time.
I love it. I was reading something the other day, and I don't know if Johan Hari has anything to say about this, but it's this idea of opposites in terms of state or opposite worlds. And there was a pretty high-powered guy who was sharing this example. He was working in some tech company. I'm not across the details, so let's just call it Google. He was working at Google because it doesn't matter if it's true. It works for the story. He was working at Google, and so all day he's in his head. So he exists in his head. And so for his stress release and the way that he doesn't actually experience stress at work, in his spare time, he goes into his opposite world. So he forces himself into his body. So what's weird about that or unusual about that is he chose tango dancing. So he goes and he's learnt the tango. And tango is all about feeling the music, feeling the emotion, letting yourself go, surrendering to the feeling, the passion in the music. And he said when he goes to tango, no one gives a shit that he's high up in Google. Nobody respects him for being high up in Google. Nobody cares how much money he's got or how quote unquote powerful he is. He's completely on the same level as every other rookie who's there to learn the tango. And he said it's the most wonderful thing because it's an opposite. And I think the reverse of that is when you look at sports people and athletes or dancers and people who are in their bodies all the time, for them to deal with the stress or the pressure of what they do, they often take themselves into something that is more cognitive or mental or some intellectual challenge that takes them away. They are not going to de-stress by going for a run at the end of 8 hours of dance classes, right? It sounds so simple, but I think sometimes we forget to live in every sphere. And I'm sure that must sharpen us mentally if we're also moving in and out of head, body.
Yeah, I love that.
So you're going to come do tango? Is that what you're saying? Because your brain box all day at work. Like, I'm going to come and tango.
I'm going to do something completely different. Another one is take a notebook places, and I obviously you can do this on your phone, but when you're in a conversation with someone or you're in a meeting, I find the notebook handy, not just to write notes down about what they're saying and to remember those, but to write the stuff that's going on in my head that I'm actually having a conversation about that's distracting me from the conversation. So if I'm trying to listen to them, like even when I was listening to you then, I actually found that really difficult because I was thinking about my next thing I was going to say. And if I'd just taken the time to actually write it down.
You got bored listening to me. And so, what am I going to get for dinner tonight? I'll just make a note over here.
Yeah, but that would be the thing. So if I went, dinner tonight, at least I know it's there. So I think that practice of being able to have a notebook or something where you can just make that quick note to be able to then be present again is useful while we are practicing the art of actually being in the conversation.
It helps you stay present and it helps you stay concentrating on what's actually happening. I know this to be true. I haven't mentioned this year, I don't think, that I have recently graduated from Harvard Business School. And I've been through my notes, and some of my notes pages, it'll be like global finance or global markets, and that's the lecture I'm in. And there's all these notes, and then just out to the side, it says pay the spark bill, which is a very New Zealand thing that I needed to do so the kids' phones didn't get cut off. And obviously the same thing's happened. I've been in the lecture, that thought has popped in, and I need to get rid of that thought so I can go back to global markets from this genius up the front of the room.
Yeah.
And to enable me to stay present, I've just made a note to it out to the side.
Yeah.
And that's what the notebook idea is, right?
Yeah, that's right. And I guess the extension of that is journaling. And actually spending some time at night writing down your thoughts and what you were going throughout the day. So actually forcing yourself to remember back, forcing yourself to be able to do that, because that is a useful practice to do. But even in the journaling, make sure that you put some detail around it. Because to your point, sometimes you go back to that journal. Like I read in my journal the other day and I was just like, oh man, XX was such a dick today, blah, blah, blah. I didn't remember what they did. All I've got is this journal note that they were a dick. So maybe a little bit more detail would have been useful.
Sorry about that. Whatever I did, I'm sorry.
It wasn't you, Sash. All right, another one, leave your phone at your desk. This is part of eliminating distractions. The little buzz in your pocket that happens, even though your phone's on silent, or the vibration on the desk, or the fact that you see your phone in the meeting is a distraction in itself. You look for a second, you see it, you go, oh, normally I pick that up and I check something. And sometimes you might even do that in a group environment where no one's engaging with you. You might actually do it, and then all of a sudden you've distracted yourself out of the conversation for a second. So by not having it on you, not having it in your pocket, could be a really good way just to be helping yourself concentrate more in the meeting, in the conversation, in the whatever is happening.
I don't mean to be a massive show off, but just the other day I went somewhere and I left my phone in the car. Oh, it was hard. It was really hard to go into a place and leave my phone behind. It's a little bit like time traveling. So people who want to know what it was like back in the day, that's how you experiment. Just leave your phone in the car and go to the party and have no way of self-soothing. You can't whip off to the loo and just do a little Candy Crush to help you deal with the pressure. You can't just check in on the game score. You have to wait till the next day. It's fascinating what it does to your attention and your focus and what it is that you want to get out. I mean, I'm kind of unresolved yet. I absolutely agree with you and, you know, what people are saying about how we've lost our ability to concentrate. Get it, accept all of that. To me, there's also something special about when our family is sitting in the lounge in our open plan dining area, 4 of us, all on our phones, just like we've got electronic dummies in. Because previously what happened, if we all had to agree on watching a show together, everybody's making an element of compromise. No one's watching the thing they actually want to watch. We're all watching something that's kind of palatable. So it's nice to have family movie night, sure. But what a time to be alive that we can actually all be together, but watching the thing that brings us the most joy. What I notice, though, is the risk that you eventually just stop communicating at all. That you can get all of your needs met from the device that's just feeding you the shows that you want to watch. Which is kind of different to the concentration point, but it's a little bit similar, right? Getting good at just being away from that and concentrating on the people that you're with.
Do you notice that if you're watching a movie, it's completely different in the movie theatre if you're not enjoying the movie than it is on Netflix, right? Because you can't turn it off. And it's kind of like, oh, I paid for this, well, I may as well watch it.
Yeah.
Me and my best mate, Matt, we go to the movies, have our mandate every now and then, and we are just awful at picking movies. In fact, if there is a crap movie out there, we are going to watch it when we're together. But we went to one the other day. It it was Black Panther, the new Black Panther movie, which I would have thought that we would have loved, but it wouldn't stop. It just kept going, and then you think it's over, and then it starts again, and I just keep going to Matt, it's still going. Like, why is it still going? And we're forcing ourselves to watch this thing. Whereas if it was on Netflix, right, we just would have stopped it. We would have gone immediately to something else. And in a movie theater, you're not pulling out your phone. Well, at least not if you're Gen X. You're not pulling out your phone and hopping on that to distract yourself. You're trying to stay focused. So maybe as part of our retraining our brains, maybe we do go to a movie we're not that interested in and force ourselves to pay attention.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's that whole thing about it feels like a waste of time to be only doing one thing at a time. And when we watch TV at home, and TV at home feels like it's so slow. Like that you can be on your phone at the same time because nothing's happened yet.
Yeah.
And movie's finished. You go, oh yeah, I kept up. I followed along.
And isn't it true that the longest time you spend on your own is when you go to the toilet and you forget your phone? And suddenly you're like literally reading like anything you can find.
Okay, so that's not just new to phones. Ever since I was old enough to go to the bathroom on my own, I'm like, there's got to be something to read. I can't just sit there and be with myself. I could recite off you every air freshener aerosol my family ever had.
Brilliant.
Is this TMI?
No, this is exactly what people need to hear. This is what they want to hear more of. They've been DMing us saying, give us more insights into your lives that includes going to the toilet.
100%. How do you guys get through those long sessions in the bathroom?
All right, so I don't know if there's anything in there. Even if this session just makes you feel better about the fact that what you were going through,
alone.
You are not alone. We are going through it as well. But maybe it does highlight, you know what? Maybe if I did swap a couple of activities, or if I did focus a slightly different, or maybe I do some Sudoku instead of Angry Birds, I might be able to get my concentration back on track because, at the end of the day, being able to concentrate is a good thing.
Being able to concentrate is time efficient. You get in, you get out, you do the work, you go. You're not having to keep coming back and going, oh, what was that? Sorry, what was that? Hey, what? Inefficient, disrespectful, rude, all of those things that we don't want to be, but just because we haven't been able to give the person speaking the full attention that they deserve.
So, Sash, what's on your Spotify playlist? What's your go-to at the moment?
I'm tragic. I'm off music right now.
What? You're off music?
Well, I did go to Elton John, and I can tell you that is the most amazing concert. It was beautiful. I cried and I cried. I thought, how powerful to go out on your own terms.
Yeah.
Amazing. Two of his songs were like really important cancer songs for me through my cancer journey. One of them is that Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. That was a song that I just loved, and it meant a lot to me at that time. It was kind of my plea to the universe. It was like, I'm not finished. Don't let the sun go down on me. I'm still young. It was kind of it was the cry of my heart at that time. And so when he started to play that, listen to me now, choking up. I just started bawling my eyes out, and people are like having a great time at the concert. There's me just crying like a sad old sack. But the woman in front of me, she was crying through another song, and I mean, it's probably happening to everyone all round. There's songs that have meanings, and perhaps people that have passed and that are special to us. So that was incredible. So I'm listening to lots of Elton John and all the remakes and other people's covers of him, but I'm particularly getting into my Audible at the moment. So I'm actually listening to lots of audiobooks and really enjoying that, because I've had trouble concentrating, ironically, in the past. And so I'm reading or listening to Backstory, which is one of David Mitchell's stories. So David Mitchell off Would I Lie to You is married to Victoria Coren Mitchell, who I love. But there's this one chapter that I would love everybody to listen to, and it's called The End of the Beginning. Or maybe it's called The Beginning of the End. One of the two. It's right near the end of the book. It's the penultimate chapter. And he talks about when he met Victoria, who is now his wife, and he waited 3 years for her. Wow. So they dated for a while. Timing wasn't good for her, and he waited 3 years, and then she I was going to say she came back on the market. She became available again, and now they're married. And it's 18 minutes of beautiful storytelling and reflections on love. There's a little bit of humour in there, but I keep listening to that over and over again like a bedtime story, and it's become my new kind of soothe. And I think it's beautiful, and I think everyone should listen to it and will enjoy it.
Yeah, that's real cool.
Are you doing some cool stuff on Spotify, not tragic old lady love story stuff?
I always love a bit of Nora Jones.
Oh my God, you're worse than me. That's tragic.
I am. I love Nora Jones. Whenever Nora Jones comes on, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to listen to more of that. And then Joe and the girls will come out and I'm cooking dinner and they'll come back and they'll go, oh crap, Dad's cooking dinner and listening to Nora Jones again.
Sail away with me. That's Nora Jones, isn't it? Sail away.
Yeah.
That's
but
so funny.
Some of the, I do love the way that Spotify curates. You were listening to this, you should listen to this. But as you know, I've been buying back the records of my youth and sort of working my way through. And I brought the Icehouse Man of Colours album, which I absolutely loved.
I've got a pocket full of holes.
Midnight Oil, Diesel and Dust.
Nostalgia.
Yeah, I know, it's really good. And then Joe brought some Joni Mitchell. Loving it, obviously, because of Love Actually. But yeah, we brought a couple of their albums. So yes, I'm loving, just a little bit of music at the moment and getting into the old Spotify. So yeah, good times. All right, closing out, let's do our journaling thought for the week. So whether you're journaling right now or at night or whatever it is, I want you to have a think about who's your type 5. There's the statement out there that says you become...
Have you lost your concentration? Wow.
No. I'm going to our Instagram page because
when you finished editing up this episode,
this is just a live example. You become like the 5 people you spend the most time with. Choose carefully. And then I was like thinking, who are my 5? Who are my type 5? So that's kind of like your journaling homework. I want you to write down who your type 5 are. And one of my type 5 is you, Sash.
I was just thinking that every week we spend time together, and that's it enhances my life enormously. I wonder, do we have to count the people that we live with? Like, not necessarily, not that they're not our type 5, but it's like if the definition who do you spend the most time with, then that might be it. And they might be your type 5.
Yeah, but I would be going outside, and unless you want to use your significant other as like they input into you, and obviously they do. But I'm okay with you excluding them for this exercise or including them.
Well, I was wondering. I mean, it's pretty awkward that you just have one of your daughters and not the other one. or how do I tell Chris I've got the kids but not him? Yeah. So it's for the exercise to be useful, right?
That's right. Yeah. So
good.
think about your 5.
Good.
And are you becoming like them, and is that a good thing or a bad thing?
And if they were also becoming like you, what are you contributing to their lives in that way as well?
Love it.